All right, just a quick wanted to show the one gentleman who asked about the programming track. Just to put it in a video, probably a lot easier just to show this. This will be real short. Kind of what we did. This is the temporary arrangement that we have set up with a double pull, double throw, center off. You probably wouldn't have that center off, but I do. We normally leave it off, and then if I'm going to do a service program, go to program. If I want to, run. For example, to bring an engine in or use it as a siding or something like that, we'll go on run. But normally we leave it in the off position. The wires from the programming track output from the command station just run out, and I'll show you in the backside how I wired that up. And then there might be hard to see with the double gap here. This being the programming track, that's a little spur there. So it's double gapped here. And there's the feeder that runs out of the switch. This is for the easy DCC system. This is how they show it in the manual. I'm sure the other manufacturers have something similar showing how to hook it up. And these guys have a pretty stern warning. Do not run across there when it's set for program, and they really recommend a physically separate programming track. But I decided to do it this way because I think we'll be able to handle it. And they do show the diagram for it. So I think most manufacturers probably have that in their instruction book, I would assume, that shows how to do that. So take a quick look underneath, and we'll see what the wiring looks like. All right, here we are on the underside. Apologize, a little jam for space here. Wasn't planning to make a big production of this. Here's the switch, and to the center terminals. You can see I just used a screw terminal one. These are the wires from the programming track. They go to the center, which is the common. One side gets the feeder here from the DCC bus. Just tapped it with a suitcase connector and brought it over. And then the other side is the connection for the wires that come out from the command station. Those yellow wires that come out. So one side is the command station screwed in. The middle is the feeders from the programming track itself, and the other side is the bus, the feeder from the bus. Polarity from the command station programming track terminals doesn't really matter. However, be careful on the polarity. You see I have red and red, black and black, just so the polarity that comes into here matches this. This is coming in. This is the bus coming in. And when a switch is thrown to run, that way the same polarity feeds up to the track. So be careful about that. So that's really all it is. Don't know really what else to say. I'm not sure. I can't even look at the screen and try to get that. Hopefully you can see that with a shadow. But it's just a simple double pull, double throw switch. I use one with screw terminals. You could certainly use solder terminals. You could use a miniature switch, whatever you want, really. A slide switch, anything that does it. Needs to be double pull, double throw. Wouldn't have to be center off. That's just what we did. So that's the situation that we have. And again, if you're on a Radio Shack or electronics store and talking to them, just tell me you want a double pull, double throw switch, either center off or just on with nothing in the center. Either way would do the trick for you. So that's it. And any further questions, just let me know. All right, we're going to call this a product update, not a product review. I don't think I'm really qualified to do reviews, plus they're all over the internet. But just some information that what I would like to see in these reviews is a little more prototypical information about the prototype. I get that they have handrails and it's got a bell and it's got a horn and here's what it sounds like, and woohoo! That's not really what I'm looking for. But for example, this, I wanted to get one of the CSX locomotives in the YN2 scheme. They are still running around, and they're starting to look pretty grungy, so I'm probably going to dirty this bad boy up pretty bad. But I was at a train show, and I saw this one, got it for a pretty good price. It's an Atlas, actually an older run Atlas, CSX -8-40 CW. And I did a little bit of research, and I'm just going to, for example, some guys are really, really particular about the prototype. They model like a certain time on a certain day of a certain year, which to me is a little crazy. But for this one, I said, okay, so I am concerned about, okay, is this locomotive still running on the CSX? I did know at the train show, because I saw it was a good price and I bought it. I know they're running them, but I don't know if the 7839 is still running, let's call it recently, within the last year or so, still in this paint scheme and not yet repainted into YN3. So I did some research, and this is kind of interesting. This particular locomotive, the 7839, apparently suffered an electrical fire at some point in time. Looking back through photographs on mostly the RR Picture Archives, which is a great site. You can look at all the locomotives, and what I like about them is you can look by locomotive and then go to the last page and it's the most recent picture. So I did that. So for this one, 7839 is still on the roster. However, as of today, it is not in this scheme. It's been repainted, and I think it's because of that fire. What happened was, if you look at pictures, something happened in and about here, which I believe, one of the electrical cabinets. It shows some obvious fire damage. Something happened. And looking back at the photographic record, I found a photograph, 11/26 of 2014, in the new scheme. So that means that this particular locomotive, unfortunately for us, is no longer painted in this in the YN2 scheme. And as you go back and through the history, the next photograph I found was basically January of 2013, which shows it with fire damage. Then you keep going back in time. There's a photograph in July of 12, still has damage. In August of 2011, still has the damage. In February of 2010, still has the damage. I think this thing was set out of Waycross for quite a while. Back to 12/9 of 2009 shows it with the fire damage, but there was a photo on 12/4 of 2009 where it didn't have the fire damage. So the moral of the story is, if we want to run this, call it in today, 2014, 2015-ish, in effect, we're wrong because it's no longer in this scheme. Not sure I'm going to lose a lot of sleep over it. I was thinking of maybe renumbering it, because I found several other units. The 7834 was photographed in February of 15 in this scheme. The 7833 was photographed in January of 15 in this scheme. And the 7831 was photographed on the 20th of February in this scheme. So there's definitely some out there right around this number. I thought about renumbering this, but I just don't know about the number boards, how I would do that, because they are lit, and that might be just more than I want to worry about. But that's just, I find it interesting. So if you're one of those guys that really worries about this stuff, anywhere from basically December of 2009 through at least January of 13, this thing I think was probably somewhere in there sitting on a stored, waiting to be fixed. And then by November of 14, it was fixed and repainted. So if you model somewhere between late 2009 and early 2013, probably through 13 somewhere, you cannot have this running on your pike because it was stored. Just kidding. They're this model trains, do whatever you want. But now, to me, that's the kind of information that I look for. These reviews are, I know it's got grab irons and a guy in the cab and stuff, and it sounds whatever, but to me, that's great. I don't really care about that. I want to know a little bit about the history. Are the details right? Which I've not done a lot of other analysis on this locomotive to see what other details we might have to add, but the paint scheme I did want to kind of verify. So we kind of have a situation here where we either live with it, knowing that really this locomotive, the 7839, is in the new scheme, or say, yeah, whatever, it's just a model train, and I weather it up and make it look all grungy, like a lot of these YN2 units are starting to look nowadays. So other than that, it is an Atlas Gold. It's a nice runner, even though it's from 2005. It runs well. You'll notice it doesn't have the front handrails on it right here. They don't come with it. You got to buy them separately. No, I'm just kidding. They're in the box. You just got to put them on. And that's some other applied details as well. Although the one thing that and Steve noticed it right away, and I'm going to give the camera to Steve here, and I'm going to the LEDs on this one, and I might have seen some of this on the web somewhere. Let's see if we can zoom in there. They're definitely a blue color, and I got to crack the throttle to get it to light up. I don't know how well it might or might not show. Let me try going in the front of it. They're definitely have a blue tint to them. I don't know how well you can see that. Just something to note. And I think I remember seeing something about it. This initial run definitely had a blue tint to them. So again, if that really bothers you, don't buy it, or you're going to be changing them out. I think we're going to live with it for a while. At some point, maybe we will change it. But again, overall, it's loud. We got to reprogram the volume, but it's a nice runner. It's a pretty smooth runner. The sound's pretty good. It's got all the normal stuff. So again, I'm not going to get into all that detail about it, but the one thing I definitely wanted to show is, or to talk about, is just the particular paint scheme I was looking for. It does not have ditch lights on the rear. Probably should add them if you really want to get crazy about it, but just again, it's not a review of the Locomotive. It's a good runner, even the 2005, even though it is the 2005 run. But one thing that might be a showstopper for folks are the blue tint to the ditch lights. So, all right, with that, we got just a couple more things to show you for fun, and then I'll let Steve update it. So more to come in a moment. All right, also just showed up today, and just to show you, I'm not going to do a review of it, but we got our SD70M Athearn Genesis. Nice, been running around a little bit. Nice locomotive. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you all about it and stuff. I haven't done a lot of research on it to see if it's accurate or whatnot, and if this scheme is appropriate. The one thing I did want to look for, that I definitely noticed very prominently on the photographs, were these auto start stop decals, and they seem to have them. In fact, they even have them. I was looking at the prototype pictures. I'll show you where to get some reference information. And it's probably hard to see, but there's actually one right there on the door, which is correct. That's actually the way they are. So if you would want some more information on this particular locomotive, a good source would be the Diesel Era magazine. So a good source, this is a Diesel Era, you see November, December 2003, volume 14, number 6. It's got a good little spread here on the Norfolk Southern SD70Ms, focused mostly on the ones with the flared radiators, and in typical, some good detail pictures. Now, as delivered, so again, if you're going to model one of these, you're going to want to try to get pictures of it for whatever date or more time frame that you're actually modeling. It doesn't look like a lot changed. Again, it shows the auto start stop decals there, which the Athearn does seem to have in that photograph. Might be hard to see, but it shows it there. So overall, again, I haven't compared it all. I'm not really necessarily a rivet counter, but I'll give it a look through to see how the details look, and obviously look at some photographs of the actual unit, the actual 2621, to see what it looks like. But overall, nice unit. Pretty good runner. I need to break it in a little bit, I think, but again, overall, pretty nice. But again, not meant to be a review, just going to show you what we got. And now we'll do one more that's a little bit different. One thing I noticed about the 70M, just real quick, is you get this with it. All it really is the sound guide and the DCC guide. A little different than the other Genesis locomotives, which was a little bit more, had some more prototype information. Again, not a big deal. It's pretty much the same thing, that it doesn't talk about the locomotive itself, but it does seem to have the typical Athearn Genesis sound information in it. Just doesn't have the prototype stuff. Alright, the next addition to the roster, a little different. This is a Roco BR151 electrical locomotive from German prototype, DB. Let him come in there. He's obviously I don't have catenary, but it's a pretty nice locomotive, pretty nice looking. Again, runs fairly good. Very nice. He's got lights. I think he's got LED lights and everything. And the one thing I like about this is that it has what they call small flanges, which for us Americans means it has normal size flanges that run much better on coated E3 rail. So that's this is the here's the actual box for this bad boy here. Oh, sorry about that. There it is. That's what it is. It's the model number 73403 151, road number 064 from Roco. Nice locomotive. Again, I have a soft spot for these European prototypes, especially the Swiss and the German, especially German steam, but also the electric locomotives. I just think they're kind of cool. So I went ahead and bought that guy, added it to the roster. Also have, just for fun, for our European friends, I also have this one on order. This is a BR143, and again, the one thing I like about it, again, it's the wheel sets with low flanges. So I guess Roco is starting to make locomotives with flanges that'll work a lot better on the coated E3 rail. So I have one of these pre-ordered, similar to what we do with our Athearn, Intermountain, and all that kind of good stuff. And I did ask the gentleman where I bought it at the hobby shop, is hey, do they hold their delivery dates like I'm used to with Athearn and Intermountain, which means they never hit them and they're a year late? And he chuckled and said, well, use it as a guideline. So I might see this in April, although it might be April 2016, who knows. So we'll see. So I am still interested in the European stuff, and here and there procuring stuff that I find is not nearly as much as I used to, but every now and then if something comes along I like, I will buy something. And in fact, I also pre-ordered some more, or one additional Swiss locomotive. It is the this one here, RE460. This is due in December. So again, I might see this in December or January 2017, who knows. This one, unfortunately, does not have the small flanges, so this will be one of the clankers that'll have to go across the track. But anyway, the Roco stuff makes pretty good stuff. I like it. So it's just a quick update. Again, I don't know a lot about this prototype. I need to do some more research. Don't know how well the details are done. Can do a little bit of information. I think this one is still running on the DB in Germany. I check YouTube videos and try to see if it's still running. I think it is, more in freight service, which is kind of what I want. So just a quick update. Again, it doesn't match the what we're doing here, but I do like this stuff, so decided to pick it up. So thanks for watching. Got to do some more work. I did get a lot of the fast track rail all cut, filed, ready to go. So the rest of this week through the weekend will be a lot of actually making turnouts to get the rest of the yard laid out. So more updates as events warrant. Thanks for watching. Do appreciate it, and everyone have a great day.